Good afternoon. I hope that you had a great lunch. And now I have a very big challenge of keeping you awake in the next 15 minutes. So I'll try to do my best. Professor Uriel Reichman, Mr. Shabtai Shavit, Professor Boaz Ganor, I'm very pleased to be with you today, friends and colleagues from around the world. Let me start with a personal story. In November 2002, I was the commander of the AMAM, which is a counter-terror unit of the police. In fact, we can say that is the national counter-terror unit, and unfortunately one of the most experienced in the world. We had notified that a terrorist had penetrated a kibbutz in the center of Israel. After a short search, we saw a horrifying scene: a mother holding her two small children in her arms, Noam, age 4, and Matan, age 5. All of them were murdered by the terrorist. Besides them, we found the bodies of two more adults who had been killed by the terrorist. It was one of my most shocking sights I ever seen, and believe me, I've seen a lot. By the way, the terrorist's name was Sichan Sichan. He was named in honor of the murderer of Senator Robert F. Kennedy. We will get to the end of the story later. In the next few minutes, I will do my best to share with you the main principles we have used to stay alive in this jungle and to be able to build a modern, pluralistic democracy despite of the best efforts of our enemies. As you all know, the main goal of terror attacks is to spread fear among the citizens. This fear affects all aspects of life in a democracy: politics, economy, tourism, and the very feeling of security among the citizens. The world today is a global village. This has a lot of advantages, but in the context of terror, it has some very big disadvantages as well. Today, it is very easy to get inspiration and knowledge through the internet about how to build a bomb or plan some kind of attack anywhere in the world. The whole world suffers from terror attacks: stabbings, bombings, suicide bombers, car bombs, car rammings. In the past few years, these acts of terror have occurred in many countries all over the globe. But there is no doubt that these attacks were inspired by the similar events here in the Middle East. In fact, the first car bomb exploded in Beirut in 1983. So the first principle is effective operational intelligence. You need to have accurate, up-to-date intelligence. You can be the most powerful giant in the world, but without intelligence, you are blindfolded and you won't be able to strike your enemy in the right place. The most of you know, according to foreign media sources, Israel has also been instrumental in preventing terror attacks in other countries as well, particularly in Europe. We have shared intelligence to help them prevent terrorist attacks and save lives in their countries. A second cornerstone is versatile forces on the ground. On the one hand, we have our classic police force dealing with day-to-day police issues, like in all countries. But in Israel, our police officers on the street must be physically and mentally ready to deal with terror attack at any given moment. That is the real meaning of being first responder. In lone wolf attacks, like most of your countries have experienced, the patrol officer is usually the first one on the scene. It is up to him to neutralize the terrorist as quickly as possible, ideally in a matter of seconds. We train our officers to do this. If we didn't succeed in preventing the attack, we get things back to normal in a few hours to minimize the psychological effects on the public. While our regular police officers have above average counter-terror abilities, the Yamam, which I spoke about before, is not usually at the scene of a lone wolf attack. They usually operate against organized terror groups and dangerous criminals, and their operations are based on accurate intelligence. Number 3, another cornerstone of our anti-terror success is operational flexibility, collaboration, and cooperation between all our agencies. It wasn't like this all the time, but we have learned that the only way to fight terror effectively is to put ego and suspicion aside. And this cooperation is not just at the highest level, but at the field level as well. Today, it isn't uncommon to find the Yamam, which is the police unit, the Israeli agency, the Israeli security agency, ISA, and the IDF, all working together in the same area in a joint operation. We have also improved our methods and capabilities, which include sophisticated technical means, checkpoints, and buildings of the security wall. As you can see, these techniques have enabled us successfully reduce terror attacks and fatalities in Israel. We were able to reduce the number of the terror attacks during the Second Intifada and during the last wave of lone wolf attacks. What we have done in Israel is the key to fighting terrorism on a global scale. We must all work together, share information, share techniques, and the best practices. Now, back to the end of the story of the murder in the kibbutz. Exactly 1 year and 1 day later, we got accurate intelligence that Sichan was in Samaria, and we were able to neutralize him. I was there, and this is the one and only time that I ever phoned the family of victims to tell them that we had completed the mission. In the end, it's a war between the good guys and the bad guys. And all of us are the good guys. Thank you all, and I wish you a very fruitful conference.